And we are back, folks. This is Rusty, and my guest today is author Kat Harmon. Now, Kat, you also on your biography page talk about spiritual counseling. What is spiritual counseling?
These are just sessions for people who have questions about not only their psychic abilities, but how that can be incorporated into their spiritual belief systems, how they deal with things like being brought up in a religious household that doesn't accept the idea of, ghosts and the afterlife being present in our daily universe, things of that nature. I have a pretty varied background as far as theology goes, and myself, I was raised in a very strict Southern Baptist household that wasn't always open to the ideas of being psychic or, communicating with spirits or anything associated with the paranormal or the supernatural. And that's really hard growing up and trying not to repress those ideas and those thoughts. So these spiritual counseling sessions are basically a discussion and therapeutic time to kind of open people up to that and help them understand how they can relate to those things and how they can incorporate it into life and not feel restricted and not feel, repressed and oppressed by maybe people in their family or people in their employment and things of that nature. And also, because of my education and because of my experience, a lot of times I can point people in the direction of certain tools or certain theologies that might be helpful to them or might fit what they believe, and they just haven't researched it yet. So I try to kind of help people and guide them on their path to learning more about who they are.
And in your services, you mentioned energy healing. Is that similar to spiritual counseling or a completely different area?
The energy healing, it is a completely different kind of area. The spiritual counseling is strictly educational and it's a strictly conversational type of medium. The energy healing sessions, if anyone's heard of Reiki, you kind of have an idea how that works. If you understand Reiki, you might understand how my energy healing works. I do not do my energy healing based on a chakra system, although I do believe that we have obviously energy that flows through us and surrounds us. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do my psychometry. But I work with those energies to kind of help people in the same way that Reiki does when they've got physical ailments, but also emotional ailments, spiritual ailments, and try to open those pathways up and also open the mind up so that the person can heal themselves. So it's really a unique experience, and I find that people really enjoy it. It's a very positive thing, and I use music to channel my energy, so sometimes they're kind of entertained as well.
Oh, that sounds like something a lot of people use. I know it's probably something I could definitely use because stress, I'm sure, can affect a person's energy and can do, I know stress can do all kinds of weird things physically to a person besides just draining you of energy. Would your energy healing sessions help in those areas?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Even for the person that's, physically tip-top shape, there's always things like that can kind of weigh us down. So, yeah, energy healing, at least the kind that I do, would absolutely be beneficial in that situation.
So is this something you would recommend that everyone should at least try once for their overall well-being?
Well, absolutely, I would. It's never going to be detrimental, so it's not something that's you're going to walk away from and go, well, that that was a mistake. I feel worse than I did when I started. It's never going to be something that's going to rub things the wrong way, I guess, spiritually or energy speaking. So it should always be a positive experience, and that's the way I try to work with it. And I think that anything like that, any kind of infusion of positive energy is always healthy for anyone.
Okay, I believe that as well, that if you surround yourself with good energy, you'll always feel good. And, well, it's sort of like what I've been told by someone. If you think positive, positive things will happen. I think it's the same with energy. If you have good energy around you, you'll draw good energy towards you and give it out to other people, making other people feel better. That's how I look at energy and stuff, such. Um, have you ever had a spirit attach itself to you, like during a paranormal investigation, or a psychic reading, or one of your ocometry sessions?
That's a good question. I haven't had that happen in a really long time, fortunately for me. But absolutely, when I first started in the paranormal field and was first doing investigations and visitations on some of these haunted sites, absolutely, I've had that happen a few times. Usually, they're non-human entities. Now, whether that's an animal or a purely spiritual being, it's kind of varied. I've had it happen maybe three times, but just over my experience and over the years, I've learned how to kind of leave those things behind and not be a magnet for that. Because I think part of that is in our mindset and how we carry ourselves. And with some experience, you can learn to kind of separate yourself from that. And luckily, I don't have a problem with that anymore. But it can be kind of unnerving when that happens. Absolutely.
Well, I totally believe that from everything I've learned on a show we have here on RX that called Attached that discusses spirit attachments. It can be quite unnerving. Um, we're going to be winding up since I'm almost out of time. So, would you once again please remind everyone when your book will be available and where they can get it? And then, could you please tell everyone if they want your help on either an energy healing session or any of the other services you offer, how they can get a hold of you?
My book, or at least the one that I'm writing about the lion people and who I am as the Felinist, it's called Leonine Mobius, and I expect it to be available probably April of 2013, or through 2012 rather. What am I thinking here? I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, I would expect it to be available about then. It should be on Amazon.com, so you'll be able to order a hard copy. I'm going to try to have an ebook version of it as well. We'll have to see how that goes. And if you want to contact me with any questions about the book, any questions about my services, or heck, if you even just have a question about something that I do, or if something that I've made you think about, you can contact me on my website at www.thefelinist.webs.com, or you can call me at 985-242-0094 and leave your information and maybe an email address. You can message me through the website, and I'm very happy to chat with people about just about anything. So, feel free to contact me with any questions or comments, or even if you just want to chat about something that sounds familiar to you.
Well, Kat, thank you very much for joining me here on Storytime and sharing your information with us. I look forward to reading your book when it comes out, and I wish you all the best of luck with your book and your other book that you are working on with Paranormal Sarah.
Oh, thank you so much. I was really honored to be on your show, and I'm really excited, and I'm glad that you had me on today.
Thank you again for joining us. And folks, I am Rusty, and next week I will be having a special 4th of July episode of Storytime with Historical Haunted America. I'll be discussing some of America's more historical haunted locations on a special 4th of July episode of Storytime, which is next Sunday on July 3rd. So please be sure to join me for that. And once again, I am your host, Rusty. My guest has been author Kat Harmon, and you have been listening to Storytime.